Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. Really? Seriously? Daniel Radcliffe? Can he be Wolverine? You're watching Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. Guys, let's get right into the day's stories, and the first up is going to be Daniel Radcliffe. Talks Wolverine casting rumors. Now, this came up a week ago or so. Actually, it's been in the rumor mill for quite a while now. And it's been a bit of a slow news day, so I thought I would indulge the rumors here. Radcliffe has been at the center of Wolverine fan casting for some time now. Now, guys, and girls out there, if you're watching, he would definitely have to bulk up a little bit for the physique, but, you know, he's got a little bit, I would say, of the face structure, you know, that could be adapted, and you can see that if he shaved some chops in there, that he would have that Wolverine look, but he's flattered. It's nothing substantial in here. I guess these rumors started back in 2019. He says in a quote here, there is something that has come up every so often for the last few years, and every time it does, I'm like, that's not true. There's nothing behind that. And everyone's like, he said it might be true. And then, of course, you know, fandom out there, all the big movie fans out there want to run with it. And they say, well, who's going to be the next Wolverine? Because we know that Hugh Jackman is retired now. Maybe. You never know if he'll come back for a Deadpool cameo. But he's done playing the full character. We won't see him back as Wolverine in a full movie. We won't see Jackman back as a full character in a movie. He'll just be like a cameo, if anything. But Radcliffe's trolling on the matter. He likes to troll about that. You know, Radcliffe, you listen to some of his interviews and such. He seems like he's like a cool dude, and he likes to have fun with the fans out there and everything. So he knows that people are saying this. He says, so the other day I was like, prove me wrong, Marvel. And then that has ignited the whole thing again. But yeah, I think it's because Wolverine in the comics is fairly short. And I think it's people going, who's a short actor? I think he could play him a little bit. But the thing is that Daniel Radcliffe is not really all that short if he's going to be playing Weird Al Yankovic in a biopic, because Weird Al is tall. Right? Well, they can cheat that with some movie magic, but I just felt like that was a fun little story to start off the movie news for today, guys. Daniel Radcliffe talks Wolverine casting rumors. What do you think? Can he fill out that role? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Okay, guys. You're watching Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, where we actually do talk about the headlines here. It's a live show, daily, 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. So, we got some quotes from Nicolas Cage talking about superhero movies. He defends them. There's a trailer out called The Offer that we'll take a look at. Yeah, okay. Steven Spielberg has a flub. He says something about Squid Games that really got people riled up. Tom Cruise talks about Mission Impossible. There's a big article out on Hollywood Reporter about that we'll talk about. More reviews come in for Morbius. The early buzz for Morbius is that it's not good, and I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that a lot. Doctor Strange 2 runtime is out. We'll talk about that. Marvel Phase 5 apparently is better than Marvel Phase 4. Shazam Villains, Shazam 2 is coming out soon, and we'll talk about, there's a piece out about the villains in that. Then we'll take a look at some various headlines and trailers that dropped. It's not a big, long news day, but I found some articles, and that's why we took a little bit longer today, because I was really struggling to find things today. If you're watching us live, I'll always participate in the live chat with you guys. Our Glass Vikings in the live chat says Daniel Radcliffe would probably do a good job as Wolverine. At the moment, he looks like the before version of Captain America. Well, yeah, but he can fix that. You know, actors always bulk up. And if you're watching this afterwards, guys, you can follow these topics linked in time codes in the description and comment section below. And I'll always address live chat comments in between these stories as we move through it. If you have any interest in following me on the social media handles, there are the links right there. I know that you have to do these opening spiels for new people, but it really slows down the momentum of the movie news. And I try to get through it as quickly as possible. I hate going to those big channels where you got to listen to like 5 minutes of them introing the day's videos. I hate that. So let's get right into it. Nicolas Cage doesn't agree with Francis Ford Coppola criticism of Marvel movies. Now, we've heard about this. The older generations, Coppola, Scorsese, and we hear later on that Spielberg, too, has that flub about they're not recognizing the younger cast. And I guess Coppola came out and said something about films saying that they're not good for the cinema. But Nicolas Cage, he's always a good guy. He's a cool actor, and we saw pictures of him recently as Dracula in that Renfield movie that came out those pictures came out yesterday. But in a chat with GQ, Cage was asked about Coppola and Scorsese's criticisms of Marvel films, and he said, "I don't understand the conflict. I don't agree with them on that perception or opinion." And obviously, Coppola there is Nicolas Cage's uncle, right? They're related. And Nicolas Cage, actually, his last name is Coppola. So it's Nicolas Coppola, but he changed it to Cage because he didn't want to have that name recognition when he started out his acting career. He wanted to try to make it on his own, and he did. So that's why his name is Nicolas Cage. It should be Nicolas Coppola, but yeah. Anyway, so he doesn't agree with his uncle here. He's got a bigger quote. "I think that the movies that I make, like Pig or Joe, are not in any kind of conflict with Marvel movies. I mean, I don't think the Marvel movie had anything to do with the end of the tweener. By tweener, I mean the $30 to $50 million budget movie. I think movies are in good shape. If you look at Power of the Dog, or if you look at Spencer or any of the Morgan Ellison movies, I think that there's still Paul Thomas Anderson. I mean, yes, of course there is. So yeah, he's saying that there's still room for all of these, experiments with the arts kind of community. That's not the right word. There's still room for movies that are not the big blockbusters, right? Marvel has done a really good job at entertaining the whole family. They put a lot of thought into it. I mean, it's definitely had a big progression from when I was doing the first two Ghost Rider movies. Kevin Feige, or whoever is behind that machine, has found a masterful way of weaving the stories together and interconnecting all the characters. So that's good. And that's really good that Nicolas Cage is championing all kinds of work. He's getting a resurgence now, and in the next year or so, because of Pig and stuff like that, and these movies that he's coming out this year, or The Unbearable Weight of Unmanageable Talent, I think that one is going to really put people back on. It's going to put him back on the radar for a lot of people. And then, of course, he's got that Dracula movie coming out that looks really cool. If you haven't seen those pictures, guys, I'll leave a link to those up in the cards above. I did a quick little story about that. I didn't feel like it was something that I needed to ramble on like this, but there's that separation there of the older people and then the younger people. Like, the older people just don't seem to get it, that the Marvel movies and like things like Spider-Man that grossed $1.8 million is not detrimental. It's just something that you have to learn to live in the same universe, right? And that's what Nicolas Cage is trying to do there. He's just trying to, broker the peace. But what do you guys think about that story? Do you agree with Nicolas Cage? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. All right, we're going to get to Nicolas Cage here in a moment. We're going to get to Spielberg here in a moment. But talking about Coppola, I wanted to bring this up because there is a teaser for a movie coming out called The Offer. And what it is, it's about the beginnings of how the Godfather movie came together. And I'm not going to play the entire trailer here, but it's interesting because you can see a younger, there's Juno Temple. I like Juno Temple. I like Juno Temple a lot. And it's just basically them trying to produce the movie, and then there's like backlash when they first started to make it because they were worried that it would make Italians in the bad light. And it was kind of cool to see behind the scenes and who they got to play the younger version of Francis Ford Coppola. And if you ever watch like the behind the scenes stuff of The Godfather, that's really cool stuff because he had to fight to make that movie because he had casting problems that people weren't happy with. Sorry, I'm just trying to look through my picture book here. And it was just kind of like an uphill battle to make The Godfather, which is like one of the masterpieces of all time here. And it's about the producer. Miles Teller is the producer right there. And it's all about them trying to put together The Godfather. Miles Teller. Dan Fogler is playing Francis Ford Coppola. And he does sort of look like him. I totally recommend that you go and take a look at this. It's going to be on Paramount Plus. Juno Temple. Yeah, I wanted to find a picture of Juno Temple here. I drew a picture of her, and I'll see if I can find that quickly. If it's in this sketchbook. Maybe it's not in this sketchbook. I thought it was. I'll give it 5 more seconds. I should have pulled this up beforehand, but I was really busy trying to put together all the stories, and I don't have a picture of her. I do have a picture of her, but I can't waste time slowing down the show looking for pictures, James. Can't do it. I do have a picture of her somewhere in here, but bummer. Don't have that. Maybe it's in that other book. Yeah, it is in that other book. I got so many sketchbooks, but it's kind of cool. I think she looks awesome. There we go. Juno Temple. Right? Sort of looks like her. You know what? The camera doesn't do very good justice. It stretches it. It stretches pictures for some reason. I'll never understand that. But, yeah. Enough of that. Go check out that trailer for The Offer. It's really interesting and it gives us some insight. If you like the Godfather movies, that's for sure. Now, let's go on to talk about this thing about the older generation not having understanding like this stuff. Spielberg made a flub there too. So Spielberg sparks backlash for comments of unknown Squid Game stars. Now, this is a little bit of how do I say, almost juvenile back and forth banter between the two, because Spielberg came out and said the Netflix series Squid Game proves that unknown people can star in an entire miniseries, can be in movies. So he was just saying that people in miniseries can also be in movies, and he says relatively unknown. And then of course, because the stars of the Squid Game are huge in Korea, he said, even if you're pointing out the female lead, and the point is not only big names can lead to successful shows, you shouldn't use unknowns, Stephen. So yeah, and then it goes back and forth calling each other blah, 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 blah. Like, Spielberg doesn't really do that, but, you know, the biggest guy that I recognized out of Squid Games was this guy right here, because he was obviously in Train to Busan, right? One of the best zombie movies that I've seen ever. And then I'm not going to get back into the back and forths that go on, because there are news sites out there that will try to use that like propaganda very much style. That site, I don't like that site. And then they'll try to drum up that outrage. They try to drum up that outrage culture. And Spielberg, I get what he was just trying to say, that yes, nobody in the North American audiences were aware of these people because they just didn't have that exposure. So he was just so he used the term loosely, which is like I guess it is sort of like an industry buzzword, an unknown actor. But you know what? He just cast a whole bunch of unknown actors in West Side Story. And I guess that's what, you know, it's just part of their language of that older generation. They use those terms, and I don't think he meant anything derogatory by it, but people have come up and tried to drum up that outrage machine, and I don't want any part of that. I just feel like that's not fair, because Spielberg is he's decorated, he's a renowned director, and say what you will about his old school perceptions on things, I don't think he meant any malice or anything from that. So that's a headline that's out there. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below. Tom Cruise is cool, though. He's somebody he gets it. Tom Cruise. And there's a big article up on Hollywood Reporter about the real Mission Impossible is saying no to Tom Cruise. And it's just an article out there talking about the tumultuous times that they've had over filming Mission Impossible 7 and 8. And just a few things that caught my eye here in the logline. The franchise superstar lawyered up and outgunned Paramount executives over costs and a last-minute submarine. Okay, well, if you go and read this article, it's a very, very long article. So I'll take a look at just some of the quick highlights from it. And here we go. So they had to lawyer up. Okay, what's that about? Because of the inflating cost of trying to shoot this during that pandemic. See, YouTube hates that word. It flags me all the time, and the audience would never suspect that the infuriated star lawyered up an earlier when the studio notified him that Mission Impossible 7 would have a 45-day theatrical window. So they shrunk the window for this, which was normally supposed to be 90 days, and then Tom Cruise said, "No, you're not doing that, so we're going to change that around." And you got to respect Tom Cruise for this, because when you hear the stories of Mission Impossible 7, like he was yelling at people on the set because they weren't wearing the masks and they would get shut down and people were getting sick, having to go to the hospital. He cares about making movies. He cares about the projects that he's in. And you can tell from the stunts that he puts his body on the line, and that translates, all of that passion that he has translates to the screen so well. And that's why his movies are so awesome. So I don't fault him for that. And I don't fault him for trying to fight for the extended window there to make the movies come to the big screen for as long as possible so they can be profitable. But he goes on to talk about those troubles, and it's a really long article, guys. There's a shot from Mission Impossible 7, and I don't know why they couldn't show Haley Atwell. That's Haley Atwell. The beautiful and stunning Haley Atwell is behind him. I don't know why they couldn't show her in this photo, but it's a good read, and I totally recommend that you guys, if you're a fan of Tom Cruise and you want to learn more about the Mission Impossible stuff, then go read this article. I read it this morning, and I wanted to get into where he talks about this submarine. Submarine? What's going on with this? The submarine was already set to appear in Mission Impossible 8, and adding it to 7, of course, would contribute to the cost overruns on that film. So that's what that headline referred to, is that, okay, well, the budget's going up. And I like how they go in to talk about this, that, they're looking for things to add to the movie to make it better for people. And Tom Cruise was just kind of like, well, we're going to use the sub in this one, but now we can use it for this one. And he's always pitching to the executives his ideas. And he's a very good salesman, apparently, at trying to convey his ideas and getting them into the movie. So, a veteran of Tom Cruise movies laughs when asked how Robbins is likely to fare. Tom says what he wants, and the studio says what it wants, and then Tom gets what he asked for. That's a great way to finish off that article. And it is a good article. If you're a Tom Cruise fan, if you want to learn more about that stuff, it's up on Hollywood Reporter. Go read that, because I felt like that was really worthwhile looking at. All right. Morbius comes out April, guys. April 1st, next weekend, next Friday. So I'll be seeing it next Thursday. I'm going to get my early tickets, but I was refraining to do the early buzz until next Monday. And I've heard a couple people say that it's not that good. So let's take a look at what this story is. And it bums me out. There's a couple of reasons why, too, it's not that good. Another Morbius early reaction calls the Sony movie messy and confused. Yes. So we've seen from the trailers that it's going to have Michael Keaton as Vulture, but perhaps not the Vulture that we know. And apparently it's not that good, so they've pulled all of that stuff. And apparently he may only appear in a post-credit scene. And they're going to pull all the Spider-Man references because it's just not resounding. It's not landing with people. Let's see this quote here. I've seen a nearly final cut of Morbius. It's messy. It's a messy film. Doesn't know what universe it's in or what characters it coexists with. And that's really funny, because we just did a story about Jared Leto saying that it's opening the door to having all of these other villains earlier this week. But of course, you know that Jared Leto is invested in this, so he's going to say anything good about the project. But the early buzz is that people are saying that it's not good. And Morbius is not a good film, and it's getting that impression where it's kind of like the studio knows this and just wants to kind of like sweep it under the rug. And that's a bummer. That's a real bummer, man. I'm not going to go on length about that because I don't want to ruin people's expectations with it. We're just kind of have to put that in our minds and know that it's there. But yeah, Morbius. We'll look more at the buzz next week once the embargo drops and we get some reviews in and get the pulse of it a little bit better than just these quick little one-offs. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has reportedly revealed its runtime. The film, though not the longest, will be surely one of the longer ones in the franchise, if reported that the runtime is correct. Now, it's like 2 hours and 28 minutes. So let's just say an hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours for short. We're not going to squabble over 2 minutes here. The Eternals was 2 hours and 36 minutes. But you know what? 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 29 minutes, 28 minutes, whatever have you. That's not obscene for, MCU movies. It's not. So I was expecting it for, well, it would be shocking if it was only an hour and a half. That's what most people would say. So the latter given Avengers Endgame was 3 hours, but it's not going to be like that. So there's no official statement yet on the runtime, but it appears like it's going to be rounding out to be about 2.5 hours. So expect that when you go get the tickets. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse comes out May 6th. So it's still just a month and a week away, a couple weeks away. So, yeah, okay. So if it's 2.5 hours, it's not uncommon. It's nothing to go, hoo. Moving on. Ooh. We're making good time through these stories, actually. Marvel Phase 5 movies are already more exciting than Phase 4. I pulled this article because I wanted to just talk about some of the highlights of Phase 4. Like, Feige is saying that we shouldn't pay attention to the phases anymore because I guess he's done with classifying that, but it's just the way that we interpret it. Because there's not going to be an Avengers movie between Phase 4 and Phase 5. There's not going to be a big movie that groups everybody together and moves us into the next chapter. That's the way that I get that things are going. But here's what's confirmed for Phase 5 and speculated. So confirmed is Fantastic Four, Blade, Deadpool 3, and Captain America 4. I forgot that Captain America 4 is confirmed. What? Wait. With obviously not with Rogers. It's going to be Falcon, right? And X-Men is rumored. I don't know what Nova is. Thunderbolts, I don't know what that is. Shang-Chi 2 is going to be confirmed. That one I know. World War Hulk is not going to happen. They don't have the rights to make a standalone Hulk movie. I don't think that's going to happen. But Fantastic Four is something that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. And as much as people still want Krasinski and Blunt, I don't think that's going to happen either. I think we might get a Krasinski cameo in Doctor Strange 2, but that'll be it. God, that would be cool to see Emily Blunt as Sue Storm. That would be awesome. This is up on Screen Rant, this article. So if you want to read this in more detail, by all means, go take a look. Why Marvel Phase 4 has been disappointing so far. I wouldn't say that. Definitely not WandaVision. WandaVision has been the best thing, I would say. Why Phase 5 movies are already more exciting? Well, because it seems like they're going to start drawing us towards some new villain. I don't know. But I found this article interesting, and I recommend that you go and check it out. Shazam! Fury of the Gods villains. Who are they? Calypso and Hespera. We know that these are going to be the villains played by Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. Lucy Liu is going to be playing Calypso. And this article just briefly tells us that they're sisters, and Helen Mirren is the younger sister. So I don't know how they're going to explain that, but that'll be interesting to see. And it's a slow news day. So that's why people are running with this stuff, trying to fill up the ideas. But apparently Hespera is going to have like electrical powers. She's going to have electricity powers. And she's just going to be able to control things with her mind, apparently. So it's an interesting read. Go over and take a look at that. Yeah. Okay. There was a movie that came out, it was supposed to come out last year, but it's coming out this year. It was called The Survivor with Ben Foster, and they're ramping it up to get released this year. Some people have seen it looks like. So it has come out in some places, but it hasn't here. And a trailer dropped for that, and I'm going to talk about the trailer here. Post-World War II, Harry Haft is a boxer who fought fellow prisoners in the concentration camps to survive. Haunted by memories and guilt, he attempts to use high-profile fights against boxing legends like Rocky Marciano as a way to find his first love again. Now, I'm a huge Ben Foster fan, obviously. I gotta stop saying obviously. I feel like I'm talking like that guy from The Platform. But anyways, Peter Sarsgaard, John Leguizamo, Danny DeVito is in this trailer. So I was kind of like immediately drawn to this, The Survivor. Let's take a look at what this little teaser, actually it's a full trailer, so we'll have to take a look at what this is. But it had Danny DeVito in it. I'm not going to play the entire trailer because of copyright reasons. But Ben Foster plays this guy, and it starts back in the concentration camps. It's going to be on HBO, and it's like flashbacks. I don't know what they're doing here. I don't know if he lost weight for this or these put his head on another person's body, because if that's him that lost all that weight, he transforms in this movie to someone who obviously later in life has put on weight. But it looks like it's a cool film. John Leguizamo is playing like his trainer there. And as I said, it's got like Danny DeVito in it. And you can't go wrong with Ben Foster. He's always proven good. And he was really good in Hell or High Water. Lone Survivor, he's been good. 3:10 to Yuma. He'll never let you down, man. He's playing a boxer, trying to find his true love once again after they were separated during the wars. And that sounds cool, man. I totally recommend that you go check this out. The Survivor is going to debut on HBO April 27th. And I would say that trailer and that movie looks like it's going to be on my radar. Oh, something else. I guess we can talk about these trailers. So there's a new trailer that just dropped for Apple Plus TV. It's going to be a series called Roar with Nicole Kidman. And the only thing that I saw from this, see that bite there? It's about people that bite things. And apparently Nicole Kidman's character is someone who eats paper and books. Okay, well that's quirky. Apparently it's by the same people who made that show Glow, and it's got some familiar faces from Glow. I think it's got Betty Gilpin in it. That caught my eye, and Alison Brie from Glow, right? And that's Alison Brie right there, right? And she looks phenomenal in this. I like Alison Brie. She's been in some interesting projects, some projects that ooh, that's loud. Some projects that I didn't think that was great, but she's a talented actress for sure. And this cast looks like it's pretty interesting. Yeah, that was Betty Gilpin. And it's about people who eat things. Weird, man. Yeah, Alison Brie always gives it. So let's, there's no synopsis here. Damn you, one video. But I read the synopsis, and that's what it's about. And it's like therapy groups. Weird. Keep our eye on that. Did you know that there was a Eraser Reborn? That Eraser movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. gives first look at a Schwarzenegger action movie reboot. Now, this is something that's going to go straight to the streaming services as well. And I only pulled this because I kind of liked Eraser. Most people overlooked that one, but okay. So there's a reboot called Eraser Reborn. Let's take a look at this trailer. Let's take a look at some snapshots from this that I must have closed. Okay, so we're going to have to look at it from the actual website. I closed it, and it's very made for TV-ish, like very low budget. But it looks like they're trying to capitalize on that. Hey, I'm an eraser. I'm erasing your past and putting you into a witness protection program, because that's what the original movie was about. And the guy in it looks like he's okay. This is like the main character. Yeah, and as I said, it's got that very low budget kind of TV, made for TV quality to it. Dominic Sherwood. If that's your bag, go check that out. And I think that leads us to our last story of the day. Dune. Why Dune director showed Baron Harkonnen naked in his first scene. Denis Villeneuve apparently likes naked fat guys. I love the prosthetics of the Baron so much. I thought it was so beautiful, naked, that I decided to rewrite the first scene to see him naked. To invent this idea of a steam bath so I could see Stellan Skarsgård in his full grandeur. Okay. I was just in love with the naked Baron, and Stellan too. He really loved the result of it. They were expecting to retouch the Baron in CG, but we didn't. It was well done. So, there you go. Denis Villeneuve likes naked Batman. All right. There we go. I think that's going to be it for today. Well, actually, you know what? Yesterday did prove fruitful to take a look at the Twitter Roundup. So we'll do that, and we'll call it a day, because it's not been a very productive day. And I got other things I need to do on the channel later on today, too. So, Ambulance movie tomato meter reading is 78% right now. Okay, well, that's better buzz than what we're hearing for Morbius. There's that Tom Cruise article talking about illegal aid while he was making Mission Impossible 7. Yeah, that's going to be a big headline for sure. Rachel Ziegler gets invited to the Grammys. Okay. Well, she's invited to the Oscars, so you might invite her to the Grammys. West Side Story was a musical for sure. Is anybody going to pay attention to the Grammys? I never do. The Lost City opens tonight, and watch for my immediate reaction for that when I come out. Sandra Bullock, Daniel Radcliffe, New York Times, and Channing Tatum. That's charming. I'm looking forward to this cast. I think this looks great. Taron Egerton has tested. Oh, man. Bummer. Well, you know what? As long as you don't get sick, then fine. The Academy has officially announced Rachel Ziegler as a presenter at this year's Oscars. Oh, good for you. A day after the fact that it was made official. Oscars are so behind the times. And the Oscars are lumped in with that group of thinking, that old school thinking that the Spielbergs and the Francis Ford Coppolas all fall into. And we're slowly going to move on from that era and bring in these younger talents and such. Jason Momoa has announced as a presenter, too, at the Oscars. Okay. And do you have to show a picture of him with his shirt off? I mean, come on. Venus and Serena will present at the Oscars. Okay. Okay, so they're just going through all the presenter. Jake Gyllenhaal will be a presenter. Henry Golden for Ralph Lauren. I like that suit. It's a tan suit. Don't wear that in North America, otherwise people will be like getting on you. I don't know why, but people in the States don't like tan suits. Okay, Henry Golding and Noah Beck at Ralph Lauren event. Daisy Edgar Jones, and okay, so I just did a trailer reaction for that. She's going to be in Where the Crawdads Sing, and we saw that the trailer broke like 2 days ago, and I never paid attention to it. But then it was announced that Taylor Swift is going to be doing a song for that called Carolina, and my trailer reaction's up on the channel for that right now. I thought it was really cool, and this Daisy Edgar Jones stars in it, and it looks like it's like about some murder. Ooh. It's a little bit risque. I don't know if I should put that one up. Amanda Bynes' conservatorship is over. Yep. Isa Gonzalez, Ambulance premiere. Daisy Edgar Jones and Sebastian Stan. So she's really making the rounds. And Sebastian Stan was just in Fresh on Hulu. Vanessa Hudgens will host the Oscars red carpet show. Cool. I like Vanessa Hudgens. She's awesome. Anya Taylor-Joy. There we go. Wow. Whew. Talk about being risque. Okay, so you don't need to see me ogle the girls over the Twitter page, but there's that pictures. There are the pictures of Nicolas Cage as Dracula. We saw these yesterday, and I shared that. So I thought that these pictures look great, and I can't wait to see this movie. I can't wait to see the Nicolas Cage like these in motion. I can't wait to see him talking and seeing how he's going to sound, because it's being billed as like a comedy too. So I think it's got some interesting potential. But that's the way that the day has been in the realm of movie news, guys. Let's jam for a little bit. I know it's been kind of a bummer, but like there's not been anything breaking, no big huge trailers. Well, there's been a few good trailers. Okay. I've been jamming with a song that I've been trying to rework for like years. And it's called The Queen of Hearts. And it used to go like this. But then I changed it so now the chorus goes like this. And it's those subtle changes because it's almost the same chord progression, because it's just A or B flat going into the A. So it goes into the A. But this just changes it up just a tad. don't have a very good singing voice. She will get everything that fate will bring by burning bridges. Oh, yeah. I do want to sing this part, but it's really loud. Plus, I haven't done vocal warm-ups, so I guess I would sing it, but I would be terrible. It would sound, and I'd probably do damage to my voice, which I want to protect, because the chorus is the song is called "Burning Bridges," and I wrote it around the time that Britney Spears was having a whole bunch of trouble in her life and stuff, and she was like doing all the crazy things. So it's called "Burning Bridges" because she was burning all of her bridges. So you will get everything that fate will bring by burning bridges, by burning bridges. Yeah. And she will get everything that fate will bring by burning bridges. Yeah. But that's the way that song goes. Just a quick little jam there at the end of the day. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.